Hey guys, Dylan here, and today we are doing a Sonic Insanity. Today's Sonic Insanity is over people freaking out over a fan game having a Patreon. If this sounds familiar to you, then this same thing happened like a year ago with Sonic Smackdown. People flipped out, the No True Scotsman appeared saying how you had to be a real fan game developer, and it was just pointless. It was pointless shit. It caused hate for a game that's actually really good and is still getting updated, and it didn't achieve anything. Sega didn't step in, no one got arrested, their shit is still up, it didn't achieve a damn thing. All it did was make people whine on Twitter for a bit and gain clout for whining on Twitter for a bit. So we're doing this again. We're doing this same shtick. So let's get into this complaint. A warning to anyone praising Sonic Omens. So you're not allowed to praise it. The fan game developer leaves the option for you to give them money if you want to. Terrible people. Not good. You can't praise it anymore. They are funded by Patreon. Oh, the evils of Patreon. There definitely isn't any commission artists who draw Sonic characters and Sega-related IPs on Patreon. There definitely isn't animators animating stuff with Sega IPs on Patreon. There definitely isn't any other Sonic-themed things at all on Patreon. This is a one-time thing, guys. This is the worst thing ever. Nothing ever has been funded by Patreon. This means they're making money from Sega's IP. Okay, if you have a YouTube channel and you make Sonic videos and you monetize it, that's making money off of Sega's IP. You think Sega would be fine with something like Egg TV existing, a satirical show voiced by Eggman, someone doing a really good Eggman voice and now using Eggman animations from their Eggman model? You think that's legit? You think Sega wouldn't fucking take that down if they could? Like, where do we draw the line? If it goes full Nintendo, then you won't be able to use Sega's music anymore. You won't be able to make fan games anymore. All because this guy is upset over a Patreon page. I think that if Sega had a problem with people making money off of their IP, they would have said something about it by now. With how actively involved the Sonic Twitter is with the Sonic community, you'd think they would have called it out by now, or someone would have done anything. But maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me. I don't see this guy, the Sonic Adventure community, being the CEO of Sega. So maybe I'm just underestimating his authority to make such a bold claim like that. Which is very dangerous for the fan game scene and may drive Sega towards Nintendo-style takedowns. No, what will drive Sega toward Nintendo-style takedowns is people like you. People like you who are demanding for the companies to do something. People like you who are complaining about the fan game developers being able to raise money. Now, in my opinion, I don't think that this is bad, because they're not making you buy the game directly. If they were making you buy the game from them and there's never a free build, yeah, that'd be fucked, and that's illegal, and that's you 100% claiming Sega's IP. But if you have the opportunity to play beta builds of a game, and the beta builds probably aren't even that good, just for backing them on Patreon, that's not the same thing, and we shouldn't pretend like it's the same thing. Meaning, no more fan games. So he's fear-mongering. 100% fear-mongering. I'll fear-monger too. Claiming shit like this will inspire companies to step in and then no more fan games. What's funny is that when it comes to Sega, they have a record of helping people who make fan games. They employed Christian Whitehead, and they recently picked up the Alex Kidd fan game, and they're actually releasing it. So it seems like you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But maybe that's just me. They knew it was wrong in September when they faced an enormous backlash ultimately losing 180 patrons. But instead of giving in to the mob, giving in to the crazies, giving in to these losers on Twitter, they changed their name and the game's name. I doubt that's the reason why they changed the game's name. They probably changed the game's name because it's not just about Shadow. And Sonic 2020 is an irrelevant name because it's not 2020. They would have to change the name of the game. I don't think they're going to change it again. I think Omens is the final name. I think that the other one was just a preview. And I think that it's not even representative of the final game. So, of course they would have to change the name. This is just dumb. This is dumb. That's what I'm saying. So, as the popularity of Sonic Omens rises, so will the Patreons 8+ today, and the chances of Sega noticing. So this guy is trying to get you to back out. He's trying to get you guys to fuck over these fan developers. Which, by the way, this game is better than any fucking modern Sonic game I've ever played. In the description of this, when it's a final video, there will be a link to their Patreon and a link to their YouTube. Please show them support. This is an amazing game and it deserves all the praise that it gets. We're working very hard to strengthen and build the strong, friendly community the adventure fandom needs. Okay, so I've been seeing this a lot. I saw it with some other people who I won't name their names, but you know who I'm talking about if you watch my videos. These people are trying to move themselves into the fandom and radicalize it. They're trying to radicalize it in the worst ways possible. And if we allow these people to fearmonger, if we allow these people to fester on Twitter and continue to control the narrative in the Sonic community and take down whoever they want to, the Sonic community will be an even more hostile place than it ever was during the 06 era. We need to stop with this shit. We need to quit canceling people. We need to quit kicking people out of the community. This fan game is better than any of the other 3D Sonic fan games I've ever played. It's an actual product, and if they're allowed to continue, it will be an amazing game, I assure you. Don't let these crazy people on Twitter who do nothing tell you what to do. So we'd love to see a follow and meet you on Discord here. So they use this to shill their shit. That's what they did. They're shilling their shit because it blew up. Wow, what a shock. What a shock that they're fucking clout chasers. Could have never guessed that one. This person says, whoa, hold the phone. Is that a Patreon thank list I see in Sonic's Omens credits? Oh wow, you can pay to get thanked? I can't believe this. That's money Sega's losing. Sega doesn't put people in the credits, dear God. Other projects on Patreon, my rear. This is anything to go by. So because they have a credit section where they thank the people who made this game possible, they are bad. They're bad, and this is their evil plan to thank the people who are helping them. What the fuck are you even trying to say? And the show, I'm not BSing here. This is from the credits MP4 file. You can see this for yourself without having to beat the game if you look through the files. Okay, so what? Are you mad about that? Are you mad because people got thanked? Like, if you're gonna back a project, wouldn't you want to be thanked? There's people who get thanked in Sonic World. There's people who get thanked in any Sonic fan project that has optional funding. What the fuck are you on about? There's people who get thanked in all types of projects. Fucking Dragon Ball fanfiction readings, people who have Patreons for that, they thank their patrons in their videos. Are they committing fucking fraud against fucking Toei? That's ridiculous. That's retarded. That's ludicrous. Oh, will you look at that? I see some Patreon posts related to Sonic Omens on the Patreon page. No shit, the Patreon posts are on the Patreon page for what is meant to be an original IP. What the fuck? Oh, okay, so what he's claiming is because these people say that they're working on other games on their Patreon, just like Sonic Smackdown, by the way, that the Patreon can't be just about that. It either has to be Sonic or the other one. It can't be both. So that's what he's trying to say. He's telling them how they run their fucking Patreon. He's saying you can either have your original fan game or you can have the Sonic fan game on here. You can't do both. And with these fucking sections, Wild Ridge, Boss Bar Concepts, Wellspring, Escaping from Wild Ridge, this is fucking in development shit. This isn't shit that's being held away from people. This isn't shit that won't be free. This is stuff that's already in the game. This is stuff that's already in the current build for free. I would have a problem with it. They're like, okay, give me $10 to play Sonic Omens. But they're not. You can play Sonic Omens for free. You could play Project 2020 for free. There's nothing illegal going on here, or at least, in my opinion, nothing illegal is going on here, because in order for there to be a crime, there has to be a victim. And Sega is well aware of this shit, seeing how big Sonic Omens is, and they're choosing not to do anything. When Sega chooses to do something, then there will be a victim, and then there will be a crime. Just clearing up how the legal system works for these guys. One of them being straight up gameplay preview for the tornado level. Oh, the humanity. So this person ends up saying, with all the current drama surrounding Sonic Omens, I'd like to clear up a few things. Bolt Team is profiting off of their progress with the game, which is a bit iffy, but they are not charging for the demos, which is true and is good. The team behind the game do work on other projects outside of Sonic Omens. And I guess this is what the other guy was responding to. Ouroboros Studios Patreon seems more focused around their other projects than Sonic Omens. I'm not sure if posting screenshots under Patreon access is completely okay, but they aren't profiting off of the game itself. Again, iffy, but in my opinion, this can put the fan game community at risk and is somewhat irresponsible of the team. I disagree. I've seen plenty of fan games have optional funding, and so far no one has done anything about it. Sega knows about these projects and they're choosing not to do anything. If they really cared, they would take it down themselves. You are not Sega. The other guy is not Sega. The guy before him is not Sega. You have no right to tell people what to do. The difference between putting art of Patreon and stuff like this is that the game is technically a competing product. No. In order for the game to be a competing product, it would have to be something that could take sales away from Sonic. No matter what, no matter how good this game is, it will not take sales away from Sonic. Because this is a free product, and people will buy the next Sonic game. It doesn't matter. You can look at the sales numbers when the next Sonic game comes out. This will not impact their sales. And the arguments you are using are the arguments that Nintendo uses, the Pokemon Company uses. That is dangerous thinking you are exhibiting there. You are the one thinking like the fucking copyright abusing people at Nintendo, not anyone else. I think that this is more of a matter of opinion on where you draw the line for trying to profit off of the game, or funding for teams' other projects. I'm sorry if this was poorly worded. Okay, so this person has commissions open. Their commissions is where they draw Sonic-related characters. Sonic is owned by Sega, so technically, by their own logic, they are charging people to do Sega-related art. That is copyright infringement, and they could get in trouble for that. This is all a gray area. And when you start drawing attention to yourself, you open the floodgates for everything. If they start attacking the fan games, it won't stop there. It'll extend to the artists. It'll extend to the comic book creators. It will extend to the animators. It will extend to every part of the fandom that dares to monetize Sonic the Hedgehog. And it will be just as impossible as anything Nintendo related or anything Pokemon related. Because these idiots can't just let something be. They can't just shut up and let this Patreon exist. This Patreon is such a threat to them that they have to constantly draw attention to it and try to attack it. This is the second time they've done this. So let's see what Sega has to say about this. BRB, DMCA time. Just kidding. Keep making great stuff, Sonic fans. So this is from a few years back, and it shows that Sega 100% keeps up with what's going on. They know about this Sonic Twitter account. They fund this Sonic Twitter account, and they wouldn't have the Sonic Twitter account say something that they disagree with. So the Sonic Twitter account is telling people to continue making great stuff, but I'm sure it's the one that actually cares. So, in my opinion, unless you are John Sega, the CEO of Sega, which is a totally real account. And by the way, he also says he supports fan games and fan artists. I don't think you have the right to say anything about Sega or their IPs. If you want to be a dick and ruin the entire Sonic fan game community, I guess you could go complain to Sega directly, and then maybe some Japanese man in Sega of Japan will become the new Nintendo and destroy everything. But you would have stopped a Patreon, so I'm sure it was a holy fight worth fighting. The crusade was worth pillaging for. All I have to say is, draw your line in the sand. In my opinion, these people are fine, and I think optional funding is fine. There is a lot of work that goes into these games. So much work that you can't even comprehend. And this isn't even a 2D fan game. This is a fully 3D Sonic game, with full cutscenes, full voice acting. There's multiple levels, multiple boss fights, and it's going to get even bigger. This is more than anything you could ever ask for. People get paid thousands a year to make shit like this, and this guy's making scraps off of Patreon. I think that it's not right. It's not right to fucking force people to do it for free. It's not right to take away their optional funding. Now, if I were them, I would remove any mentions of the fucking fan game off of their Patreon because people keep fucking bitching about it. Just have the Patreon up or have a payment section up and people will donate. And I advise you, yet again, I might stream this game later just so you can see it. If you have the spare money, go give it to them. Go help these people out. They're making an amazing product. They're making the thing that Sega refuses to make. Go support them. Help this type of stuff prosper in the community. Help this type of stuff continue to be funded and made. Don't listen to the crazies on Twitter. Don't listen to the cancel mob. Go support Sonic fan creators. Don't support these losers on Twitter who want to destroy. Thank you guys for watching, and bye.
But anyways, why am I even talking about this game? It's just a shitty little fan game. There's like a bazillion of those. What's the issue here? What makes it so special? Well, the issue is something that actually brought up all the way back in my Sonic 3D Blast video from around a year ago, and that is that the creator of this game, who goes by ~ÄÄ, is directly profiting from this fan game through a Patreon page, where they would give incentives towards more game content such as, pay me this much money and I'll make this level next. Now this is nothing new. Bold gotten shit for this back when Sonic 2020 came out. I mean, that's what I made fun of them for in my video from back then. But it appears for this new one, they've instead changed the Patreon to the name of their game studio, in an attempt to make it look less scummy, I guess? See, this is what I think happened. Sonic 2020 came out and everyone loved it and started donating to Bolt's Patreon. Then some sane people started to question the validity of doing something like that, with Bolt ultimately losing around 180 of those patrons. But instead of taking the L, realizing what they were doing was wrong and either A, cancelling the project altogether, or B, continue working on it as a passion project without any financial reward, they instead changed the name of their Patreon in the game from Sonic 2020 to Sonic Omens, in the hopes that when it comes out next year, people will have forgotten about it and be more willing to once again donate. But it ain't gonna work out because obviously people have caught on to this scummy behavior. But just why is this such an issue? Why should we care if this person's making money off their hard work? And of course the answer to that would obviously be, well, Sonic isn't theirs. But let's go a little more in-depth. Let's go over some of the arguments people may have in defense of this. Sega lets people sell Sonic art though. Aren't Sonic artists doing something immoral by profiting off of the Sonic IP? This sure does seem a little hypocritical splash dash if I do say so myself. But the difference is, and you may want to sit down for this, is it's a bit of a shocker. Sega isn't an art selling company. I know. The majority of their sales do not come from whatever Sonic sticker packs they've got on sale. Sega makes most of their money from video game sales, especially now with a lot of their arcades shutting down. So Sega are a lot more likely to be upset about a fan game using their characters to infringe on their main market. But like, Sega is a multi-billion, or well maybe multi-million-dollar company, and are they really going to be missing the money coming in from those 29 patrons? And the answer to that is, no, not really. But if you think the people upset about this are only upset about a faceless corporation losing money, then I'm sorry, but you gotta take a look at the bigger picture here. There's a great thread on this done by Moore's Games, but I'll shorten it down to get the general point of it across for you. If you wanna read the whole thing, again, description. Let's just say I'm working on my very own Sonic fan game, Sonic Made Cafe Simulator. I'm doing it in my own time, on my own accord for no profit. Then I look over and see Sonic Omens. Wait a minute, this person is making real money off this fan game, while I'm doing mine for free like an asshole. That's it, I'm making a Patreon too. Now let's say 1,000 fan game developers have that same thought, and they all make Patreons to profit off their own fan games using Sega's IP. I don't know if you know this, but Sega's kind of like desperate for money. If they see this, they're gonna crack down just like Nintendo or, well, Sega. Sega of America may be cool, but Sega of Japan have had a lot of controversy about them taking down fan games. It's not too far of a stretch to assume that if this becomes a big problem, then the American branch will decide to take this stuff down too, and send out cease and desists. So with Sonic fan games getting taken down, there's gonna be less of an incentive to even bother making one. Why put a bunch of time and effort into something that people might not even get to play? I mean, that's what happened with Mario. Mario is without a doubt a bigger and more popular franchise than Sonic, but he has way less fan games because of how strict Nintendo are with them. We don't want that happening with Sonic next. Sonic fans always talk about how lucky we are that Sega are so cool with fan games. How about we don't take advantage of that?
And it doesn't help the fact that they've got a very questionable Patreon that at times have had the beta for the game behind a paywall, which is completely illegal and irresponsible. And the reason it's such a big deal is because with all this hype around this game and the fact that things have been put behind a paywall in some instances where they shouldn't, is why I am afraid that Sega might just turn around one day and be like, right guys, you can't make Sonic fan games, you can't do anything relating to Sonic because you're abusing our generosity to let you guys do this. And people are wondering, well, how come Sega lets people do art or animations and stuff like that and charge free? Well, let me tell you this basically. The only rival that Sega is concerned about is the fact that if you're going to make a game, a Sonic game, that you're going to charge, you are now Sega's main rival.
How unfortunate that you are attempting to deceive me.
Master?
You have become a rival!